feeling a little bit rough today. We're a little bit hanging, but we're gonna soldier on regardless. Uh, Car Kick Sports is back, and we are breaking down the UFC 298 card. Absolutely milestone event. What do you think, guys? Just generally, and I'll start with you, Ray. Actually, go ahead, man.
You know what? Staying up for these fights again, Rafa, but that was a card which was worth me staying up for. That was a very good from beginning of the main card to the end. It was a good card, a brilliant card. And we discussed before regarding Ilia. I said this is going to go two ways. Volk is going to show dominance, or Ilia is going to be who he says he is, and a star will be born. And my goodness, a star was born.
Yeah, agreed, man. Unbelievable. I couldn't think of a more perfect performance, in my opinion. What was your initial thoughts as well, Tim?
UFC 298. We got a front runner for event of the year. We got a front runner for knockout of the year. We got a front runner for upset of the year. And with that insane Robert Whittaker fight, we got a front runner for fight of the year already. UFC 298, like you said, it was a milestone event. And this is the end of one era. I know we're going to talk about a rematch in a bit, but I think I'm pretty confident on my pick in that one. And the start of the next era. I feel like this is one of those moments that we're going to remember as, I think, the marquee division in the UFC has maybe changed from 155 to 145 now. Every champion in this division has just been absolutely incredible, from Aldo to Connor, to Volkanovski to now Topuria. Like, what an incredible division this is, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you were to compare it, I know, again, going back to comparing this to the weird middleweight division. Middleweight division is completely, you've got champions that aren't as high quality. You go back to featherweight, unbelievable kind of roster of champions, man, and they're all highly skilled. I think this is gonna sound like a really strange thought. Like initially, right after the fight, I'm like, Josh Emmett is damn tough, man. Holy shit, man. Like, just think about this, guys. Yeah, look, Ilia Topuria came into the UFC. He's not. I think he's finished everyone. He's submitted everyone. He's KO'd everyone. I think no one survived the decision yet. And Josh Emmett just took a 5-round beating, like as if it was nothing. He took
His face wore it though. His face wore it for sure.
Yeah,
and he took so many right hands in that fight too.
That guy's tough as nails, and he will still knock someone out as well. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. I think another thing that I was super surprised with was, initially when it first started, I was like, yeah, Volk's doing really well. Like, he's throwing really good body kicks. He's throwing leg kicks. He's varying up his strikes a lot more. And what I was really impressed with was he was trying to knock him out with a head kick, like straight away. Like, he was just trying to surprise him. And I like that because he knows the weakness of Ilia. He knows he probably is susceptible to a head kick. Saves himself. He still tried to use it, but the whole time I couldn't help fall nervous for Volkanovski. I was like, he's winning, but I just feel like Ilia could hit him at any moment, and he can stalk him, and he could potentially land the right hand. And that's how I felt like throughout the whole fight. Like, I just felt this unease and nervousness that Volkanovski could just get knocked out at any second, and it happened. Did you guys feel that as well?
Yeah, I'll jump in on that one. But that was one of the things that you and I were talking about before is like, is he coming back too fast after getting knocked out cold against a hitter like Ilia? And this was something that was definitely a possibility going in. And the right hand kept finding a home. And I'm forgetting the goddamn phrase because it's like first thing in the morning for me. Okay, from boxing, what is the thing that Floyd Mayweather always did when he would lean back?
Shoulder roll.
Yeah. Okay, Volkanovski's shoulder roll is usually pretty good, but his was off. And he kept getting hit and leaning back, and he was caught against the cage a bunch of times. He was losing the footwork game, but his shoulder roll was just off. Like, he kept getting hit at the wrong time. Anyway, go ahead, guys.
No, I definitely agree. I think one thing at first I was just like, it looked like Holloway. It looked like Volkanovski wasn't getting his timing at first, because you can tell like he was trying to make certain movements and then he just couldn't get it off. And then I started to realize, I think going into the second, I'm like, oh no, Ilia's causing him to not get his rhythm. Ilia's the one that's actually doing it. He's the one that was cutting him off and not allowing him to set pace or set his rhythm. And I think the size difference as well, I didn't realize how bigger Ilia would be than him. Don't get me wrong, obviously, Volk is normally the shorter guy, but obviously he's quite bulky himself. But Ilia, size-wise, it was just like he looked filled out, and I was just like, do you know what? I think the second round, just before the knockdown, I was looking at first, I was just like, nah, is this going to be a barrage? And then Volk will weather the storm.
Yeah.
And then before he got knocked down, there were certain punches and hits where I was just like, oh crap, I don't think this is just like a 1-2 round storm. I think Ilia can do this the whole time. Like, he's refined his style to, I think before he was known as the guy, like, he'll be a fast starter, but then later down the line, he might dwindle a bit. And then he's just refined himself to the point, and it's like, nah, he tuned it in. Not every shot's going to be the knockout one, but when he does go for it, he balances it. And he got, and I'm hurt because I like Volk. I even remember, I've been saying for a while, and Ash will say this, let you know, I kept on saying Ilia needs to go for Holloway first, because I don't know if he's reached the level that he needs to just yet. And yesterday he let us tonight he let us know that no, that is my level. I am championship level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. That shot selection was beautiful. Like, he wasn't throwing volume. He's never been, I don't think he's been a crazy volume guy. It's more the stalking that he does. It's the stalking and the pressure he puts on yourself and puts you on knees, and then he just throws those kind of really selective shots. But I think what I was kind of thinking in my head was, do you think he kind of really game planned for this heavily? Because Volk has been known to put his hands here down when he's against the cage, and he's taken shots on it. Do you think it's something that Ilia knew from the outset, and it's something that he worked towards, or do you think he just kind of went on the fly?
That's a banging question. I can't quite tell, because like whether he made up the footwork game on the fly, and that's just something he has in his repertoire, and something he saw with the timing on the shoulder rolls. I'm not sure if that's something he picked up or it's something that they drilled. But Ash, what do you think? You were on that. What do you think? Did he game plan that?
I personally think that must have been something that he was really just kind of it must have been something that he was implementing, because he wasn't really letting Volk take the center, and that was really good. Like, he actually he controlled the center, and he was just backing up. He was backing up Volk the whole time, most of the time. And Volk, he felt that shot. I think he felt that right hand, in that first round. He just thought, "Fuck this, man! I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to jab this guy. I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to be on my bike the whole time." And he's still getting knocked out. So I think it was planned, man. What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, definitely. I think he was trying to get on his bike, and then Ilia kicked his wheel. He was trying to. That's what I mean about like his rhythm and movement. You can tell, like, he does his normal thing and like bounces side to side, and then he advances. And it just felt like he was forcing it, because Ilia was forcing him to move in ways that he can't get his rhythm. And then once he couldn't get his rhythm, I think Ilia just saw, like, I've got you. And it was just shocking to see that. I think Ilia just well scouted him. His team well scouted him, and I think that's the issue with when you're the champ for that long. People pick up on things. There's more footage on you. It's easier to push you out on certain things. Obviously, it's easier said than done to implement it, but Ilia, give him team credit. I don't know who his main camp is with, but kudos to them, because he was dialed in and saw something in there that a lot of other fighters haven't been able to capitalize on. And I think as well, maybe this is the first time that Volk has faced someone with this type of power at featherweight as well. I can't think of anyone where they had knockout power like Ilia does. Because obviously he's like, as good as Holloway is, he's not the knockout guy. He's the volume guy. And then he's faced Korean Zombie, or Taken submission guy.
Chad Mendes.
Yair is more of a... He's a finisher.
He's a kicky boy.
Yeah, he's a Taekwondo guy. So he relies more on the kicks. But I mean, this is the first time in a while that Volk's gone against someone that's like a knockout puncher like this, and has more movement. So yeah, kudos to Ilia.
I really like that point. So I'm just going to build on what you said. When you said that as the champion, there's been so many footage and data on you, and when you go back here a few years ago, you got Dominic Cruz. He had a great run, just beating the fuck out of the Team Alpha male guys. Yeah, like, I love the Team Alpha male, but he was their daddy at one point. Now, let's be honest, boys.
What did he say? He goes, I bought a house off all the wins I got off your team.
He did, literally,
he said that to Garbrandt, and I was just like, that is cold-blooded.
That's crazy. But then by the time it got to Cody Garbrandt, like, you've already fought Uriah Faber twice, man. You've already fought everyone, like, and you've got so much footage and data on you. So this is the question going forward. Does Volkanovski change his style, going forward? Does he become a bit more wrestling heavy? Because he didn't, I was very surprised that he didn't try and take him down, like throw different looks initially. Do you think he changes his style going forward?
I'll jump on that because you were talking about the game planning, and you know what I think Ilia and his team did, because I was just kind of remembering stuff now.
Yeah,
the counter to the pull counter is body shots. And what was the knockout set up with? He was hammering the body all night. If you lean back, your body's still in the pocket, and he was lining things up with the body. And if you do the pull counter wrong, you just get clobbered with an overhand right. And that's what we were seeing. His timing on the pull counter was constantly wrong. But that's what I'm high on Ilia right now. So I want to say in a rematch, he probably wins the same way. But Volkanovski and his team are really good at game planning, making adjustments. Unfortunately, I just think age and getting knocked out twice in a row is going to be a factor for Volkanovski. I think he needs like a year off, just recover. But the thing is, like, some of the stuff that he was saying of like, when I don't fight, I'm not happy. Like, I don't feel good when I'm not fighting. So I don't know. I'm really not sure. What do you guys think?
I think he's at a stage in life where his own ego, and when I say ego, it's not in a bad way, because a lot of the time it's got a negative connotation, but his own ego that's needed to get him to where he is going to work against him, his pride. And I think he needs people around. No, I won't even say he needs people around him, because by the sounds of it, even Eugene Behrman was telling him apparently not to take the Islam fight, because he was saying, listen, that's the type of guy you prepare properly for, and if you don't do a full camp, what happened. And now it's like, in hindsight, obviously it's easy to think in hindsight. Now it's looking like, we shouldn't have taken that fight. So I think now he does need time to reflect, but this way he gets into dangerous territory. He's getting older. A lot of fighters, when you get older, is either you get the help that you need psychologically. Some people see therapists, some do ayahuasca, but then the scary thing is it makes you lose your edge.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, if you lose your edge, can you still be the top guy? And I think it's scary, because I remember one of my favorite fighters ever, Rashad Evans.
Yeah.
He was saying he used to fight with a certain anger and hunger from like his childhood. And then I think one of the issues was he had a tumultuous relationship with his dad. And then I think he said as he got older, he mended it. He mended that relationship with his dad, obviously, because life still happens outside of a fighter. And then I think he started to say like, oh, like I just didn't, that same ferocity I had when I was younger, it's gone. And then when you don't fight with that same ferocity, can you still push yourself? And then everyone's got different drives and motivations. So it's just a case of, if he does go to see, I don't know, a sports therapist, as to that feeling of avoiding, filling that hole that he has when he's not competing, will that then take the sharpness out of him? And if it does, I still want to see him fight.
Yeah.
It's not in a title fight. You need to find a way to find peace, but then also have that ferocity. And I feel like, for me, the person who's got the right balance of it now is Max Holloway, because he comes across as, he's been at peace. Obviously, it's like Volk being 3 times, but then he's at a space where he's at peace with it, but he's still hungry enough to like beat up everyone else, basically. And we just got to wait and see, can Volk get to that place where you get a balance of, I'm at peace, but I still got the edge to compete at the highest level. And it'll be interesting to find out, but he definitely needs to take some time out, because 2 consecutive knockouts, short space of time, it's just like, clear your head. I hope the UFC is compensated him well. Go clear your head, live life, do what you need to do. Similar to your boy Izzy, go live life, and you get what I'm saying, invest. And then when you're ready to come back, but don't feel forced to.
Definitely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the guy just needs some time off. And people talk about the last two knockout losses. Even the first Islam fight, man, it was a bit of a war. Like
Yeah,
he was getting rocked and damaged and all kinds of stuff, man. But yeah, it's good that the MMA community can finally be in unison with this. That Volk just needs a break, man. Which is
yeah,
good.
for
But
sure.
what do you guys would do with Topuria going forward? After this monumental event.
Yair
Yeah.
Rodriguez. I know he's trying to
Damn.
say that he doesn't want to fight him. All this stuff about I don't want to fight Max. I don't want to fight Yair. I don't want to fight Ortega. Listen, whoever wins out of Yair and Ortega, especially if it's Yair, you have to make that fight because that's been getting spicy way before. Yair is already a fiery person, but the way them two have had their back and forth is like that needs to happen.
Tell me about it. I haven't followed that. What's
I
happening?
think just obviously both of them like having like just Spanish backgrounds. I think it's
Yeah,
been more on that side of like the media, Spanish MMA media space. But I know that they've been going at each other. Yeah, it doesn't like the aura that Ilya's been portraying of himself. Obviously, now in hindsight, it's like he is who he says he is. But obviously, before that, he wasn't champion and he was talking spicy. He was just like, I'm not going to give this person a chance, that person a chance. And I think he was looking at it like, you cocky prick, how dare you, type of thing. But now that Ilya's proving himself, now like you got to turn up the temperature and all that trash talk. And Yair seems to genuinely have a despise for him. So that is the fight to make. Especially, I know Yair is going to be facing Ortega. Ortega's in a weird position where it's like he's in that convo of one of the best to not get a belt. Whether he can, hop over that hump, but that'll be a good fight as well. But I just hope he's got enough in the tank because Ortega's one of them weird ones. When he wins spectacularly. When he loses he takes a beating when he loses. And it's just like you can't keep on taking career-changing beatings if you lose. Like it's never like a little meek split decision. It's like no, he either wins emphatically or loses emphatically.
yeah,
So we'll see. But those two should be next. I would say Max Holloway, but I don't know if he's going to be the same after facing Gaethje.
yeah. That's a fair point, man. That's a very fair point. I mean, just me personally, I want to see Ilya versus Sean O'Malley. Like, I know it sounds so silly, but if Sean O'Malley wins next month, Raven's like, oh come on, man, with your stupid selection.
I thought you were gonna say Connor because I was gonna say I'll buy that.
Why not? Why not? Hey, Sean's already called him out. They've already got trash talk going back and forth. Oh,
Sean is not the star we think he is. I'm sorry. I know they try to force him down our throats. He's just not. He isn't the star. I think because of. Sorry to interrupt. I know obviously because of the whole social media interactions and everything, people think Sean is this star. He's not the crossover star that people think he is. What we've seen over the few months is that he appeals more to MMA trolls that probably don't even buy merch and probably MMA trolls that don't even step outside of their houses. MMA fans that don't even probably buy pay-per-views in America. That's who he appeals to.
You can just say my name. You can just say
No. But you're not a troll. You step outside your house. There's a difference. You have a life. But I'm saying like his audience over time is starting to show that it might not be the audience that they thought would be the kingmaker.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see. I just don't think that he's the star that they expected him to be. He's not the crossover star, shall I say.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I think like because the UFC is run by older people, and that's fine. But I think like they look at Sean as like, oh, that's what kids like, right? That's what the young kids are like, and young kids are like, what the fuck? No, this guy's a loser, But I think that he's like the boomer idea of what they think kids would like.
Yeah.
It's not really the case.
It's like, oh yeah, he's popular with the kids. Like that's who. Whereas Ilia gives me the. Oh no, mainstream is paying attention to this guy, especially in Europe.
Agreed.
Yeah,
especially Spain. It's like any Spanish-speaking country, he can be a star, man. 100%. Like I think it's just a matter of time, especially with the trajectory that Ilya's on. But other than that, I mean, if you look at the contenders at featherweight, I mean, I can't see anyone immediately. I mean, what do you think, Tim?
No, that Yair fight sounds like a lot of fun. The Holloway fight is there, but he might just get lucky with like career timing on a lot of these guys. Of like Max is on the other side of his career.
Yeah.
If he just if he gets beaten up by Gaethje and comes in damaged, he's really lucky with that timing. But yeah, I don't know. Yair is a good one, but yeah, 135 is good. I would like to see him defend the title before changing weight classes, just as a standard, but there's tons of fights outside of 145 for him, you know? That's the problem. It's funner outside of that one.
Yeah. The timing, I think,
100%.
Everyone of the older generation is starting to get onto the twilight side of their career. Whereas I guess with Ilia, his peers, he's beating them on the way up. Because his peers are a lot like, well, apart from Arnold Allen, who obviously, unfortunately, lost his last fight, so that's going to be difficult. Because I would have thought Arnold Allen would have been a perfect guy to put him with, but he needs a couple more fights to get him back. And then, who's the guy that Bryce Mitchell's already beaten up?
Bryce Mitchell's still dead. He hasn't got up yet.
Yeah. I don't even. I'm trying to. I would need to look at the 145 ranking.
Bryce Mitchell got knocked out so badly. He thinks the world is round now.
Yeah. But I think everyone in Ilia.
I'm gonna take that. That's my joke now. I'm taking that one. That's
I like that. But no, everyone, I think, in Ilia's generation of fighters haven't caught up to him yet. So he's gonna basically have to beat up on the older generation whilst everyone else builds up to where they need him to.
Yeah.
There's no one really like clear cut, man.
Or it depends how Aljamain Sterling looks as well.
Yeah, Aljo's going up. I forgot about that too. He needs a win.
So depending on how he looks against Cater at UFC 300, that would actually be a good fight.
That's a rough
obviously
match.
I think it's gonna be the winner of Yair and Ortega next. But then if Aljo looks good and then gets one more 30 win under his belt, that could be a good sign, and it'll be a good way to get another new contender. Because I think looking at 145, Mozvar Ovalev.
Oh my god, yes, I forgot about that guy.
I hope I've said his name correct. Apologies if I've said it.
No. Evolive. You and I probably fucked that one up.
Is he? I don't know too much about him. I'm not gonna lie, but he seems to have an impressive record. Obviously, he beat Arnold Allen, so maybe one more win for him, and he gets the title shot. I feel like he needs an emphatic win to like get his name out there. But that's the only two people I can think of: the winner of Ortega and the winner of Ortega and Rodriguez, and then Mr. I feel so bad I'm getting his name wrong. I'm just gonna call him by his first name, Mozvar.
Yes, okay. They were scheduled. That's what I thought. Okay, so Topuria and Evloev were scheduled before, and that fight was canceled due to this was in 2022. It says Evloev withdrew. So I don't know if it was an injury or an illness, but they were actually scheduled previously, and that would have been two undefeated fighters. Now this might be if Evloev can get a little bit of hype behind him. This is some Tony and Habib, two undefeated guys who just can't quite get the booking, but every time they get booked, it's for it's for more and more stakes. But yeah, I think he needs a little bit of hype behind him.
What if they put Evloev against, if Aljo wins, put Evloev and Aljo together, and that gets the number one? I think that is Dana.
Yeah, that's for me. I don't know, man. I'm gonna see how Aljo performs at 145. I don't like what he's saying. He's saying all kinds of weird stuff like they're really big, and I'm like, what? You agreed to go up in weight class, man? What's going on?
He was a great size for 135 because he was so much bigger. Like, oh my god, I think he's almost wasted at 145. Honestly,
I think so, man.
He's a super talent though. He's incredible.
Definitely. Like we said, we've got to wait until UFC 300 and then see what happens there.
100%. It would be criminal not to kind of skim for the rest of the card, but what do you guys think of co-main event Rob Whittaker versus Paulo Costa? What's your initial thoughts, guys?
Listen, Whittaker, for that guy dug in deep in a reserve of someone that's already had a long career. And I think they mentioned it on the broadcasting, where it's just like, you forget how long Whitaker's actually been in front of our face in regards to this growing as a fighter over time. And the fact that even at this point of his career, he can still dig deep and beat a guy like Paulo Costa the way he did, and to come back from that spinning heel kick in the first round. I thought he was out on his feet. I was in another group chat, and we were just like, nah, he must be out of his feet. And then recovered, put in a good performance. And I was just like, listen, man, if Izzy doesn't want to come back straight away, give me Whitaker first, DDP 2. I want to see that. Give me that fight.
Yeah, man, he looked good. He looked good. Like I was a little bit worried for him going into this one because everyone knows how dangerous Paulo Costa was.
For sure.
But it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because I feel like he's wearing damage a lot faster now. Like he's obviously, you can actually see he's getting a bit older now. But having said that, you know, the skills pay the bills, man. He was still jabbing him. He was still managing to outpoint him, beat him up, rock him a little bit. What I was really impressed with was Paulo Costa is just a tough motherfucker, man. That guy's so hard to put away. Like, what do you do with both these guys next, Tim?
Yeah, no, I don't know, because one of the funny things, Robert Whitaker is actually a little bit small for middleweight, and Paulo's massive for middleweight. Like, I still remember Whitaker getting beat up by Court McGee. Like, this guy, and then we're talking about like he's one of the best talents we've ever seen in history.
Court McGee and
he was a bad man
Wonderboy.
Wonderboy just knocked him out.
Wonderboy was one who sent him packing into middleweight, ironically.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. And now he's going tooth and nail against a monster in Paulo Costa. And it's great to see. But thing is, like you said, I think Robert's old and he's on the other side of his career, but it's still middleweight. He could probably be champion in the next 2 years. Like keep in mind, Dan Henderson got like 25 title shots. So, you know, it's like Robert Whitaker could be champion in no time, right?
Hey, man.
You know, the scary thing about Whitaker, though, his style is more like he counters, but he's willing to take a punch to give 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't know how sustainable that is, but if he can get one more championship run in him, I'm here for it. And I feel like there's no point wasting time and making Whitaker fight another war against someone else, especially middleweight division is not really the most packed at the moment. I say give him DDP next. If DDP is not going to be facing Adesanya, I say might as well let's make that match, because who else is there? Because I'm looking at the rankings. It's Sean Strickland, Israel, Whitaker, Jared Cannonier. Whitaker's already beaten Cannonier in recent time.
Yeah, he's already beaten him.
Yeah, so might as well make Whitaker DDP.
I think it's too soon though, man. He just got finished by DDP, didn't he? And it's like,
but that's the excitement of it. You got finished and you got an emphatic win. It's different if it was just like you got finished and the win was just like you squeaked out a decision, or you wrestle hugged him and you avoided the fight. It's like, no, he showed that I still have the guts to go for it.
That's true.
And I feel like if he's shown that he's still got the guts to go for it, give him DDP again. I don't recall his post-fight interview, but it will piss me off if whether in the post-fight interview or the press conference, he doesn't say, give me DDP. If Izzy doesn't want to come back, still wants to rest, let's make DDP Whitaker too, because the guy has shown that he's got enough in the tank to make it a war. And I feel like if DDP is who he says he is, let's make it in South Africa. That's the one. Let's do that in South Africa.
I think a good match. I do. I mean, I get that logic, but I would like to see one fight before that happens. I think put Rob Whitaker against Hamzat, man. No one wants to fight Hamzat.
Ooh, get that guy off the
I knew I was going to face Raven.
No, I'm tired, man. And I'll show you that. I'll show you that screenshot the other day. That guy, all he does, and all respect to him, I'm not one, you know me, I'm not one to disrespect fighters and whatnot. But the constantly, I'll see you soon. After every Leon wins the title, I'll see you soon. Izzy wins the title. No, the Pereira wins the title. I'll see you soon. Izzy wins the title off him. I'll see you soon. Sean Strickland wins the title. I'll see you soon. DDP wins. Brother, every day is I'll see you soon. And it's not less like you never have a fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's enough. Listen, special talent until Hamzat gets a string of fights together. Stop mentioning him. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Is enough. Stop the Hamzat talk. Hamzat, I don't know what is up with him, and I hope he gets it sorted. But enough Hamzat talk, because this guy has been known to call everyone out and not fight. You got a split decision against Usman. Jared Cannonier is who Hamzat needs to fight, not Whitaker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry. Hamzat does not belong near the top guys for now. Give him Jared Cannonier. That's who he deserves. Or Strickland.
Yeah, man, 100%. But moving down the card a little bit, Henry Cejudo versus Mirab Divashvili. What just initial thoughts straight away? I was utterly blown away the fact that Mirab was able to take him down. Like, he was able to fucking dog him, man. In wrestling, unbelievable, man. I could not believe that. And it made me think maybe Henry needs to not retire, but he should go down to flyweight again, man.
No.
Mirab is big. Like, he's a lot bigger than him. He's stronger than him. And when you look at Henry compared to everyone else, everyone is physically a lot taller, or it looked like there was a massive physical advantage. But what do you guys think?
No, and that's one of the things with Henry even at 125 was kind of small, in all honesty.
Yeah.
He's a thick guy, but he
was
was even short at 125. Going up to 135 was always going to be a major challenge. But Heavy Hands had a really good breakdown regarding how Henry Cejudo's attitude in the past. Sorry, I no-sold you on the middleweight thing. I had a Megan O'Leary video going, so you understand.
Oh no,
you understand. It was you or Megan, and I was like, I'm just going to listen to Megan here. But so Henry Cejudo's had a really odd career going back quite a ways, because he actually mentally needs a push to really like motivate himself. Like, because if you remember his first run in MMA, he was unbeaten and never got very much better until Demetrius Johnson beat him. And then he realized he actually needed to reinvent himself, and that motivated him again. And so you just get this idea of like, he kind of pushes himself as far as he feels like. And if he doesn't, then he's just going to take a rest. And this might motivate him, but I don't know. He took the gloves off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think he has anything left to prove. I don't know if he wants to do 125, but this is the thing of like, he actually needs a push to like, he lost twice in a row. So I'm retired. That's not like,
he did mention that. He did potentially mention that, and it was out of order because Dana was a bit paid in the press conference, because they were just like, "Oh, why didn't you give? If Henry wants to retire, why didn't you give him a chance to retire?" And I think Dana's still burnt about last time.
But what's wrong with Dana, man? It's like, bro, that's a fucking legend. Like, let's be honest, there's the persona of the king of cringe, and everyone's like, oh man, he's so cringy, this and that. Fair enough, but like, you can't deny he's a legend. He's a legend, man. Like, give him his flowers, man.
This is one of the things of like, if you just look at his wins and losses, he might have the best wins in history, from TJ Dillashaw, Demetrius Johnson, Sergio Pettis is actually aged really well. Marlon Moraes, Dom Cruz. So I think combined, I was doing the math, and he has his opponents have the most UFC title wins of anyone in UFC history.
Wow.
So, and most of that is just because he beat Demetrius Johnson. So, fair is fair.
No, but listen, Triple C was, as much as people like to clown him about Triple C, and he makes me cringe as well, but one thing I'll never discredit, his credentials are solid, whether it's the gold medal, whether it's the champion at flyweight and potentially saving that division, and then moving up and then beating Dominic Cruz. Obviously, he kind of like retired at the wrong time and it kind of backfired, but don't let that stop you from realizing how good he is. And to follow that, Ash, how long have I been saying Merab for champ 2024?
You've actually been very solid for about
Merab Diaz really is the champion that you may not want, but the champion we need. And the funny thing is, when people try to speak about him, I think he has great character. The guy is funny. If you see his skits, he's hilarious, and not in a cringe way. He's not trying too hard. His English is getting better. I feel like Merab should definitely get the next title shot, and I think he will be the person to dethrone Sean O'Malley, because he won't deviate from the game plan like Aljo did. I think Aljo at the time got too emotionally invested and tried to fight a fight that he shouldn't even be fighting. And I think, to his credit, O'Malley even said to him, I was injured. If you went for the takedown, I was there for the taking.
Wow.
Yeah, because I think O'Malley was saying he had injured ribs or something, and he was just like, he's happy that he didn't go for the takedown or he didn't pursue it more, because obviously Sean did stop it, but it was like Aljo entertained being on the feet for too long, whereas Merab is just like, he's too tunnel vision to like, it's almost like Habib, where Habib's like, I don't care about your game plan, I'm imposing mine, and you're gonna have to fight me off. And I feel like Merab just showed he is an absolute machine, word to his nickname.
Yeah.
Because that guy went in there. He lost the first round as well. That was the irony. And second round, he went out there, he put on a pace, and he just let Cejudo know, like, listen, look at me. I'm the captain now. Marab for champ 2024. I don't care about Gio O'Malley now. That's whoever wins that, give Marab his title shot. He deserves it. And I want him to get a nice run before Usman Nurmagomedov gets. Is it Usman or Umar in their division?
Umar Nurmagomedov.
Before Umar Nurmagomedov gets his run of form, I would love to see, maybe that might be the end game. Obviously, Sanhagen somewhere in there, but Marab deserved the title shot anyway. So now he's put emphasis on it. He beat a reputable name in Cejudo. And Marab for champ 2024, I've been shouting it and will continue shouting it.
Well, one of the reasons Cejudo isn't happy, like this is because this was in California, we actually got reported payouts. So these are official numbers from the UFC. And Henry Cejudo, 2-division champion, beat Demetrius Johnson, revived 125, beat Dominic Cruz and all these other guys. He makes less money than Mackenzie Dern.
What?
So he gets paid $150,000. Mackenzie Dern, $200,000 for a loss.
Criminal.
Yeah,
that's
this is
ridiculous,
the thing,
man.
Criminal.
So this is the thing of like him stepping back. I'm sure it's not that big of a deal for him. Like this can't be that important.
Oh yeah,
that's how he's treated by the UFC. Like, yeah, retire.
Wow.
What difference is it going to make? Just go on coach. He could do seminars around the world and probably make that much money.
Yeah.
You know?
And remember, he's got to pay his team. He's got to pay taxes. He's got to pay for just other stuff.
Yep.
Listen, man, and this is why we need PFL to succeed, because people need competition to go to other places and get paid just as nicely.
Yeah. But Merab is actually, I feel like Bilal Muhammad should take a page out of Merab's book, man. Start making some.
He does. No. Let's not listen.
He used to. He doesn't do that anymore.
There is nothing more at this point that Bilal can do to get a title shot. I'm sorry. There's nothing. People are just at this point of his career, they're not going to like him more for whatever reason, which I don't understand the dislike for Bilal. I feel like it's forced. It's the same way people have this revisionist history of like they loved Leon before. No, you fuckers didn't.
No, they didn't.
I was one of the original people, and Ash will tell you this. I was one of the original people driving the Leon Edwards hype train and letting people know that he was going to be champion. And I've got text messages, so I was calling this even before 2020, way before. People gave Leon the same, who's this boring guy? No one wants to see you. What is it? A 10-fight unbeaten streak. No one cares, Leon. You're boring anyway. Just hurry up and get your title shot, and so we can see you go away, because everyone thought that Usman was going to run over him. Now that he won, and then he beat Usman again emphatically, and then beat Covington emphatically, now it's, oh yeah, Leon this, Leon that. I'm like, don't let this fickle fan base fool you to think that Bilal needs to do anything more to deserve a title shot. He deserves his title shot. For whatever reason he's getting this treatment, I don't know. Bilal has to do nothing else. He doesn't need to make a fool of himself. He doesn't need to force a personality. The guy has earned his title shot. He beat Gilbert. He finished Sean Brady. He done way more than anything Colby done anyway. So give Bilal his title shot. Leon's still going to win, don't get me wrong. But give Bilal his title shot. And the fact that Dana's admitted that Leon accepted to fight 300 for 3 different fights. I don't know what the F is going on. Give Bilal a title shot. Give him the rightful money as well. And get Leon active. Because I think Leon's even probably frustrated. Like, I want to fight more. And you lot keep on keeping me on the shelf. First also with Colby when they made him wait until a long time. Now they're doing it with Bilal. Give him his title shot ASAP.
100%, man. 100% co-sign with that. But UFC 298 is a wrap. epic event, probably one of the top 20 events all time in UFC. We always say this whenever there's a massive UFC event, but it's fucking good, boys, wasn't it? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys subscribe, stay tuned. We're going to do a lot more of these going forward throughout the rest of this year. Raymond's going to be here regularly, so you'll see a lot more of him. And thank you guys for also check out our .com. You know, Tim's done amazing work on that. It looks incredible. Make sure you check that out and stay tuned, boys.